Utah is one of the best places I've been in a really long time. If you saw my last video, I even said it was a bit life-changing. So today, I want to talk to you about a few things I've learned during my time in Utah. So let's get right into it. If you travel to Utah, I promise you that this will be one of the best experiences you will have. When I went to Utah, this was at the end of October, beginning of November, and I only stayed in the southern part of Utah. I didn't travel up north to Salt Lake City. Okay, now that that's out of the way, we can get down to business. The first point I want to talk about is where to stay. Not specifically giving you advice on like where to stay.
Here's where you folks will be staying.
But I mean, when you do find a place to stay. Firstly, if you don't do this already, research what is around you. My time in Utah was spent at an Airbnb somewhere in the mountains with a beautiful overlook, and it was amazing. But it is a mountain town. What does that mean? When you needed to buy food, it was a bit of a chore. I think the nearest town to us was called Duck Creek. Now when I say town, I mean a couple of houses. The hardware store was also the grocery store. This wasn't a bad thing, not at all. But we have to take into consideration a few things. One, it is a lot more expensive. You're at a small town, of course, your groceries are gonna cost much more. Two, you're very limited on what you can buy. Yeah, they had the essentials. There was bread, there was milk, there were eggs, meat, the typical things you can get. But again, for the amount of money you spend, you don't really get a lot back. If you did want to travel further out to the nearest, real supermarket or shopping center, you had to travel to Walmart.
Walmart?
How far was Walmart from where we were? One way was 90 minutes. I know, wow. So we're talking about a 3+ hour trip in total just to buy groceries. That's literally a day trip.
I'm going on an adventure!
But I will say, if you do go there, you do get more for your buck. I think probably for a little extra money, we probably got twice the amount of food. In fact, we ended up having to dispose of some food by the end of our trip because we just couldn't eat it all. Needless to say, it's important that you buy in bulk. But then again, this depends on how long you're there. Number 2, the dry air. I know, strange. I live on an island, so I'm surrounded by water. I don't experience the dryness in the air. And I've been to other mountain towns, but I've never experienced the dryness like this.
No water?
I mean, every morning when I woke up, my nose was bleeding. My nose hurt because just the air was so dry up there. Granted, we did have the fireplace on most of the time, so that definitely contributed to the dryness in the air. It was something that I wasn't used to, and I never got used to it during my time there. And I hated waking up and having to blow my nose and see blood. It was awful. So if you do travel, maybe bring some like nasal spray, maybe some Vaseline that you can rub in your nose, because no one likes a bloody nose. The next one is something very seasonal, and that is the weather. November was amazing, prime time. However, the weather was constantly, and I mean constantly, changing. We were snowed in twice during our 10 days there. The day we arrived, the next day we had a big snowstorm. We couldn't leave the house. The day before we left, we had another snowstorm and we couldn't leave the house. And you know what's funny? In between all of that, we had sunny weather, we had cold weather, we had warm weather. But it was constantly changing. And this is why it's very important when traveling to Utah to dress in layers, especially if you're going hiking. In the morning you might leave and you'll be wearing a heavy coat. By midday, that coat is off and you're just in a windbreaker, maybe a long sleeve shirt. And because it's a mountain town, the temperatures at the top of the mountain are dramatically different than the temperatures near the bottom. if you're traveling to Utah in the winter, it is important that you bring clothing for cold weather as well as warm weather. This next one is also in alignment with the weather, and that is having the proper equipment. Now, mainly people who go to Utah want to see the beauty. They want to hike, they want to be outdoors. And this in itself can be dangerous. Now, I can't speak for the summer, but I have heard in the summer months, it can get incredibly hot, over 100 degrees, and that is just unbearable. No one wants that. I can't imagine hiking in such weather. But since I traveled in the winter, I learned that one of the most important things you need are good hiking boots. Good hiking boots are not only important because one, they keep your feet warm. Good hiking boots give you proper traction as you walk. And without proper traction, you're just gonna go sliding all over the ice. Speaking of ice, there is a lot of black ice there. And if you aren't from a place where it snows a lot or where it doesn't get that cold, black ice is ice that is actually quite difficult to see. And this ice is incredibly slippery. In addition to proper boots, this next one is a bit of a preference, but a lot of hikers might tell you to try it, are the hiking sticks or hiking poles. Hiking poles will also give you that stability and that balance when you're hiking. It takes a lot of pressure and pain off of your knees, your lower back, your upper back, and helps keep you upright. My final point, which I also think is the most important one and quite a personal one considering I do YouTube, and that is take in everything you see. When you're driving through Utah, there's just a plethora of scenic views, and it's damn near impossible to miss. Put your camera down. Snapping that photo for Instagram or capturing that footage for your next YouTube video or TikTok reel is great, but it's important to really live in the moment. When you get that view that just smacks you in the face, keep the camera away and just take it in. That view will always be there, but your experience of seeing it for the first time will never happen again. Take that in for what it is. There were times, as I said, I just looked. I didn't want to record. I just wanted to be in that moment. Put your phone down, leave TikTok alone, don't worry about YouTube. Worry about yourself, worry about that feeling you get and embrace it and take it all in. I think that's the most important tip that I can give you. I loved Utah. I can't. It is just amazing, and I really want to go back. I have to see it again. I want to go see these views one more time, and I want to explore a lot more. And I think you should too. Utah is just an amazing place. Beautiful. I mean, I can only say how beautiful it is so many times. And I do hope that this video provided you with some useful information. I mean, this is my personal experience, and I thought, everyone's experience is unique. So why not share it? So everyone, if you found this video exciting, useful, beneficial, and if you want more travel content, you have to hit that subscribe button. Everyone, thanks for joining me. I really appreciate it. Have a great day, and I'll see you in the next one.